This is like the fourth fucking time I'm recording this. I have not made a video for a while now. I think I've posted maybe 2 in the last 7 months that wasn't a repost, one of which was a re-edit, because I currently have a job that sucks up all my time. Had a lot happen in the last 7 months, including a car accident. I've been through quite a bit. I wanted to, last year, dedicate that entire year to creating content that called people in rather than out. And I just ended up not having time to do it. But I feel that it is important for me to speak on the current dilemma that is happening within NorseTok. That is that a creator who is fairly prominent and influential has said some problematic ass shit. He has come out as transphobic with his whole fucking chest. I wasn't that surprised. I was in denial that his yellow flags were red flags. Apparently he is currently dating a very anti-Semitic woman, and it is entirely possible that he is simply catering to her beliefs by creating some bullshit ass video. I don't fucking know. If that is the case, he needs to reach the fuck down, grab some sack, and stand up for what he actually believes in. If that is not the case, then he's just been a shithead this whole time secretly. During my initial interaction with Also True Eric, I pointed out a couple of things, like his weird Nordic purity bullshit, where he thinks that Norse paganism is like the one true religion, which is straight out of the fucking Bible. You literally just scraped the name off the door and put Norse pagan on it. That's it. That shows that you have not deconstructed. I thought it was a yellow flag. I thought that's a weird way to go about it. I try to be accepting of the theology of others, even if it's really fucking weird, as long as it's not problematic. And you can kind of see where that can become problematic, but I didn't see it be problematic. He also is kind of a giant asshole. When new people come in, he will berate them, shout them down. We've actually had people come in on the subreddit and be like, why is this guy such a prick? And before, I would at least be like, well, he's an asshole, but at least he knows a thing or two. You just gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt, right? I thought maybe it was his sense of humor. I guess that's just who he is. I don't know. It seems as though most of his content is about clout chasing and putting on a front and doing the things he thinks will increase his numbers. That's the reason for the petty clapbacks. It's not because he's actually mad at this person and wants a back and forth. It's literally because he knows that his petty clapbacks will do better. He is being inauthentic, and he has been inauthentic this whole time. We see that in the fact that he is being exclusive, that he is being transphobic, that he is being bigoted.
I don't give a fuck how hard you try to present yourself. A trans woman is not a woman. It is a man pretending to be a woman. And a trans man is not a man. That is a woman pretending to be a man. Probably in part due to influences around him, but I also believe that a lot of these bigots are currently being emboldened by the current political state of things. Let me start off by saying this. First and foremost, I'm a right-leaning libertarian, which means I'm closer to Republican than anything else. And that should give you a good idea of my thought process. Yes, Republican and libertarian heathens exist. I'm also a die-hard Trump supporter and voted for Trump in this last election. He is seeing the trend of things. He's seeing the writing on the wall. And he's like, okay, I'm going to lean a little bit more conservative than I have. One of the reasons that I gave Also True Eric the benefit of the doubt, and I haven't shared this with a lot of people, is that him and I have similar backgrounds in that we both have been white supremacists. That's actually one of the reasons why I've had some difficulty in the past with giving bigoted people the benefit of the doubt and hoping that they'll change, because I changed. Long story short, after I got back from Iraq in 2009, I was very angry. I was living in a very impoverished area. A lot of the emotional shit that I was dealing with from my deployment and just really my time in the Marine Corps made me an angry person. Frankly, I was an asshole. Because of that, I was a little more susceptible. Some people that I had known and grown up with
were scum punks. If you know anything about punk, you know that it is culturally connected to skinheads. So I met a skinhead through my friends, and being angry and young and looking for people to lash out at, while also being extremely curious, because as you can tell from my channel, I'm a curious person. I like to examine ideas, and I like to understand those ideas better. Sometimes those ideas can be dangerous if we're not inoculated from them, and we'll get into that. Long story short, obviously I got out of that. It was a couple years, to be honest. I eventually got out of it. I eventually started to deconstruct that idea, and if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask. You can DM me, comment, I don't care. I can also make a whole video on it. It's probably not a bad idea, to be honest. I've briefly mentioned it in a couple of videos, one of which is very old right now. But because of my time with white supremacy, I understand it better. I can see the dog whistles better. I can see the shitheads a little bit better. Like when I called out historical heathen. A lot of that was because I have been in that mentality. I understand what it's like. I know the propaganda and the twisted ideas that get someone there because I have been there. I used my experience with hateful ideology to do better, to create inclusive content, to point out when people are being bigoted, especially in the online spaces that I moderate. I thought that, similar to myself, Eric could do better. And apparently I was wrong. I don't know how wrong I was, but obviously if he's dating an anti-Semite and he's making transphobic content, he has not fully deconstructed. He does not understand the harm within his ideas. I use my experience to inoculate myself and to inoculate others, and to teach people what to look out for. White supremacy takes advantage of angry people. They are looking for something to lash out at. They are looking for somebody to punch down at because they don't understand the real power dynamic. It's easier to punch down and blame BIPOC and LGBTQA plus peoples rather than actually hold the millionaires and billionaires and politicians to task and hold them accountable. Eric has come out as a diehard MAGA Trump supporter. It's easier for the average person to walk outside, see a homeless person, and blame them for all the problems in the world, when in reality, it's the people at the top of those fucking buildings that actually make all the decisions that ruin lives. So when I call somebody out on that shit, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I am honestly still surprised that people are friends with historical heathen. He's got a fucking terrorist tattoo on his chest. He's still out there espousing this fucking bullshit. I want to see NorseTok do fucking better. I want to see inclusivity, accountability, and acceptance. I have been successful in my moderation of r/Norse paganism. I wish TikTok would let me be a mod because then I could fucking clean house. I could do some shit. Unfortunately, I lack that power. So what I need is other Norse pagans, other pagans, other TikTok users, other people on the fucking internet, other people in real life, every space. I need to see inclusivity. I need to see acceptance, not just of LGBTQ peoples and people of color. So what does inclusivity look like? Inclusivity looks like understanding your fucking biases. Inclusivity is understanding that we exist within a racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic society, and you do not get out unscathed. I don't give a fuck who you are, how pure you think you are, how fucking bleeding heart you are. Some part of you has some hateful piece that you need to be okay with dismantling. That is how you deconstruct. It is trying to cultivate that unbiased mind. Here's a good example. Society seems to think that white men are default. That white male is just the default person. That acting in a waspy cultural way is fucking default. That's how academia treats it. That's how society treats it. That's how these neckbeards on the fucking internet complaining that there's a black Spider-Man treat it. It's bullshit. People come in so many fucking varieties, so many different melanin hues, so many different fucking genders, heights, sizes, shapes. There is no one default human person. We need to understand and accept that. And that takes time, that takes understanding, that takes contemplation, that takes accepting that you have those biases and being okay with letting it go. I have been accused many times now of making political videos. I think I've made technically one political video. Human decency is not political. People make it political because they are using it to fucking get your votes and to gain power. Human decency is default. Human decency is accepting somebody's fucking pronouns. Human decency is being confident enough in your fucking self not to give a fuck what somebody else does with their fucking lives. Why do you care? Why do you care if two boys kiss? Why do you care if Tommy wants to be called Susie and wear a dress? Who gives a shit? Does that actually fucking affect you? Or are you just so fucking sad and pathetic and you're got this fucking special snowflake ass goddamn mentality that you just get your fucking panties in a bunch about it? That's somebody else's life. Stop giving a fuck about things that do not affect you. Because they don't. I'm not telling you to put on a dress, right? Nobody's saying you've got to put on lipstick or not put on lipstick or whatever the fuck. It's somebody else making that choice. That is a freedom of gender expression. I am fucking tired of conservatives thinking that they are upholding freedom when all they're doing is fucking putting people into little boxes. You are conserving the little boxes that we need to dismantle. So that's one. That's inclusivity. That is the first way we change things for the better. The second thing is to uplift. If we want to make positive spaces, if we want to make things better going forward, you need to not put people fucking down. You need to not be an asshole. You need to quit doing this weird petty clapback bullshit that's really fucking stupid and just clout chasing. It's just trying to boost numbers, guy. Instead, we need to uplift. That's what I was trying to do last year before all this job shit happened. Uplifting is when somebody shows you their cheap dollar store ass altar, you act like it's the greatest thing in the world, because it is. They are expressing their faith. They are expressing their path. When somebody makes a statue of Odin that looks like it might have been microwaved, guess what? That's awesome, because they did it with their own two fucking hands. It's great. I love seeing that shit. When I see shit like that on the subreddit, I upvote the crap out of that. It's awesome. We need more uplifting. Less putting down, less petty clapback bullshit. I don't want to see anybody else trying to be the Jerry fucking Springer of Norse paganism, because that's what Eric was doing. That's what he is doing still. It's fucking clout chasing. It's trying to be an asshole for clicks. And all that does is promote toxicity. I am done not calling out that shit. I may not have the time to call it out like I used to, but I am done holding my tongue. As we see where it gets us when we ignore those yellow flags. So with all that, be better tomorrow than you were yesterday. We are the sum of our actions, not our words.